We will. This is what I do. Once we go live, is that your notification that I'm live?
Yes.
If you get the notification, share it with all your groups. Once the delay. Hmm? We got people on. 1 second. Hello, folks. Hey, what's going on? Shane, Clavon, Jay, what's going on? As you guys can see, we got a special guest. So let's get some people in here so we can jump into some things. Kenneth, what's going on? Yeah, people there. It's good to see the faithful come out and support as usual. It's good to see, the likes of Howard and Kenneth, Jay. And remember, guys, to share the link. Share the link. I think I try to share to a few of those WhatsApp group, not WhatsApp, Facebook groups. But if you can continue to share, that'll be great. Um, so who doesn't know? This is Peter McCool. He's always a regular in the chat in the comments every week. I go chat. I think he appeared once, right?
That's
He did
correct.
appear once. So he's in town, and I invite him to come hang out in our little spot, and he actually see what we go through the setup to do iGoat chat. So
I'm impressed.
you are?
I am impressed. I didn't thought there's so much detail to this. Thought it was a little camera out front there, and that's it. A lot more to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it, and we're trying to improve. We're trying to get better at it. Try
Mhm.
to, bring more value to the people who faithfully join us every week. So, how you feel about our little spot?
Um, as I said, I'm impressed. The setup is awesome, and trust me, there's a lot more work goes into it, technical that you, the viewer, are not seeing it. And I'm happy to be here.
Good. This week we don't even have a real agenda. I think what we're trying to do this week is just hit on a few things. Um, so guys, keep sharing the link. I want to get us to like 20 people before I dig into some stuff. I got a couple of things that I want to get off my chest because I learned some stuff this week that I figured I should share with our people. So I'm gonna get that off my chest right off the bat, and then we can dig into some other things. So let's share and see if we can get the numbers up. Although to me it doesn't matter. It's the after what people who watch it afterwards are really run it up. That's where their value is actually. But let me just get into it. So, folks, a while back we talked about the importation of animals, right? And there was some permits that were being issued. Permits were pending. The whole deal with the government and the livestock improvement program. Number of animals to be imported. Now, we had a conversation on iGoat chat about a group of farmers that had an application in for permit and it was pending, but then they went ahead and tried to secure animals without the permit. Well, that was the story. I'm just repeating what I was told. Nobody wanted to come on record to talk about it. So I can only speak based on what they tell me, but I can't call no names and I can't hold anybody accountable. However, I told you guys I would give you an update once I hear something. And it's been what? Maybe 2 months?
About that.
Yeah. And I finally got an update. And based on the sources that I have, and they've been pretty reliable. I just can't put them on record. They got the permit and the animals will be in Jamaica next week.
Wow.
By the end of next week, I was told these animals will be in Jamaica. So here's here's the pro and the con to this. I'm very pleased, very happy that a group of farmers are getting this far in today's climate because I know a lot changed since the last time animals were imported into the country. So, with that said, I'm happy that a permit is issued. There is a present protocol. There's a qualification process, and it's been met by this group. They found a farm that will do whatever it takes, jump through the hoops, dot the I's, cross the T's, whatever the Dr. Watson required to get animals in Jamaica. Somehow that farm got it done. The con part of it to me now is the fact that one, as I mentioned before, this permit is for Case, the agricultural school, right? However, I'm told Case didn't have couldn't fill the space. Like if the shipping can take 30, 40 goats, whatever it is, Case couldn't fill that space, so they included some friends of Case. And my problem is the people, the friends of Case, the friends. You know, if you're a private farmer and you have a relationship with Case and Case say, hey, you want to come in on this? Fine. But you happen to represent a body of people and you're on committees, you're on board, all this stuff, you should be exempted from this. You should not, or what? No, next thing, what's the word? You should recuse yourself.
Yeah.
You should recuse yourself from this because I think it's a strong conflict of interest.
No doubt.
And people that I've spoken to in the space feel the same way. If you, there's two ways about it. You openly say you're involved and tell people this is what's going on, or you recuse yourself. You can't. This can't be happening in private when you represent a body of people in that capacity. Give me a second, because I still have a conversation with this dog.
General is doing his job, man. Continue.
I don't know what's going on with this dog. Hmm? I don't know if it's because she hear this loud talking at this night, told her, but it happens every week, so I don't know what's her problem tonight. It's private. Okay. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by Private the dog. For anybody
Okay, I
who
thought
don't
it was
know,
general.
yeah, it's private. She turns on when it gets dark. Anyways, what I'm saying is that if you're in that capacity of representing people in this space, whatever you do within this space should be made public. You should actually let people know this process is happening and you're a part of it. And you can frame it any way you want to frame it. However, I feel personally, it shouldn't be private. A lot of people I talk to in this space that are calling me on this, asking me if I know about it, they're of the same sentiment that it should not be private. The private farmers are involved, no problem. But if you represent a body of people, it shouldn't be private. Dr. Deslandes, who represent Case, shouldn't be private. That whole thing shouldn't be private. He should openly say he's doing this because he's representing Case. Anybody else in the group that's representing a body of people should come out and say this is what they're doing because this is a direct impact on the body of people
Conflict
that you.
of interest.
Yes, it directly impact the people you represent. So you should make it public that you're involved and this is what's going on. So I don't understand why everything in Jamaica that moves the needle forward is always secret. Everything that helps people is always secret. They always keep it a secret until they suck everything out of it and give people the scraps. I don't understand why. This is a big deal. I really think we should all be celebrating this because it's happening on a new level of awareness where the criteria has been set. It's been there before, but now it's revised and it's given according to them leveling the playing field for everyone. So we should be celebrating it and we should be looking forward to other farmers trying to do the same thing. However, why is this so secret when it involves public figures? This is not solely some private farmers completely. Case is a government entity, and individuals involved in the group are on the committees and board of government entities. And we know that our association president is in the group. So why is this whole thing private? Why it has to be so secret? I think it's a big positive if they come out and say, yo, we're doing this as a pilot
Yeah.
project and we're going to go through the steps and we're going to let you guys know
Mm.
how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So once we figure it out, then you can consult or we can advise other farmers of what it takes to do it. I think that should be the approach. That way, everything is open. Everybody understands what's going on. I feel strongly that one, case should make it public what they're doing, and two, our president of the association should make it clear he's involved. You guys tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong on this. Okay, Howard, let me explain to you what's going on. The permit, as I discussed before in a previous iGo chat, the permit in question here, or the permit we're discussing here, is a permit for Case, the agriculture school. My understanding is Case can fill the amount, the, no, the space for the shipment, can fully utilize the space. So Case invite some friends of Case to help if they want to come in on the shipment. They pay for their animals, they come in on the shipment, which is fine. However, I'm saying it shouldn't be secret that Case is doing this, and it shouldn't be secret that representatives of the people are involved. That shouldn't be a secret. It should be public knowledge. So here's Darren saying, talking about the declaration of no full blood purebred in Jamaica. You guys know that we had a big issue with that. We had TJ, Terrence Johnson on, we had Al Archer on, we had a robust debate on it. Everybody knows my personal opinion that I think it's a reckless statement. I think that it should have been addressed and explained because everybody in Jamaica understand the concept of no record keeping, so you can't really know for sure. However, we still have to protect our industry. We know what we got. We know what we're dealing with. We still got to protect it. So it should have been clarified. However, it wasn't. Now, the conversation is pivoting to, oh, now we're going to get all these traceable full blood animals in Jamaica, and it's going to be these are the only animals people can vouch that are definitely full blood animals because they're going to have papers. Nobody else is going to have papers. So, what do we do? What do we do from here? What what's going to happen with the registry? Is the registry going to be all of a sudden available and these animals are going to be top of the list and all other animals are going to be judged by these animals, the standard? All the other animals are going to be judged based on the standard of these animals that come in? I don't know. How is it going to go? There's a lot of misinformation when it surrounds the uh, the the registry and how it will be rolled out and how animals will be appraised. Confusion is there, so we're gonna need some clarity on it. We're definitely gonna need some clarity on it. What do you say, Peter?
Um, I can't add too much of this. You already summarize it. The entities that have a body that collecting money, like the association, the doctor who's represent a government agency, they should be excluded. Period. No problem with the private people then, but I made a statement in the past, and I think we the farmers has to start looking at making some changes in the association if this sector is going to move forward. Because obviously, if this is proven to be true, it's all about personal gain, not about we, the member. And I can say clearly, I did pay my money. We, the member, they're not representing us.
Yeah, it's an ongoing discussion on are we are the members of the association properly um, represented. There's a debate. There's endless conversation on that. In this instance, I feel like the process that they went through to get this done, it needs to be done. That's the pro part of it. It should be done. Somebody needs to have that experience in today's time. I know Al Archer and a bunch of them did it back 15, 20 years ago. But now there's new criteria, there's new risks involved. Get it done today with new regulations and things for to level the playing field. I don't know how many people would really have a problem if they came out and say, yo, we're doing this pilot project, we'll keep you informed. And it would have been an education for all of us on how to go about doing this. The fact that it happens in secret,
Exactly.
and really and truly, they should know by now that nothing in Jamaica stays secret as long as people got credit on their phones. You know, I said it before. If you have credit, people have credit on their phone, nothing's gonna stay secret for long.
Right, it's transparency, right?
Yeah.
If they had come out and say, okay, as you indicated in the past, this is a process, this is what we're doing, they did not do that. So it's almost as if to say, oh, it perceived that they're looking out for themselves. The association and entity, they need to be more transparent to the people who are having them in that power, in that position. And there's no transparency. I said that from day one. I said that in some of my past video, and I call out the president. He is not taking care of us, the people who pays their dues. Terrence says it's not reckless. I like to see what he means by that. For, it is reckless and it's one sided. There's I'm not a top breeder, so those guys are the ones should be consulted and say, hey, this is what happened. Did they? We don't know.
Well, um, everybody knows Terrence Johnson. He's right here in the comments. Terrence and I go back to our original stock. And you see, he posted it. Remind me earlier this week on that. Terrence has always been straightforward on his involvement. However, I can't speak on what he said. He tells me until he's ready to come and speak on the record. However, the stuff like the registry, if you know how the registry is going to be affected by these new animals, then please keep it in mind to speak on it when you can speak. I think you may differ that that is not reckless, but for the association president and them to be doing this secretly.
It is.
But I really feel like if it's not reckless, what is the word? How would you categorize it? Is it selfish? Is it corrupt? Is it egotistical? What's the word? What is the appropriate word to describe or categorize their involvement in secret?
We wouldn't have this conversation if more transparency was out there. Things was let us know every step of the way. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I think the conversation we'll be having now is more of a celebratory one.
exactly. Wow, we got it. It's
We
done.
got it done. These guys got it done. The blueprint is in place.
Exactly.
Everybody pool their money because the blueprint is in place. This is how we get it done. Nobody knows how it's done right now because the group that got it done is a bunch of private people with two government or two representatives in there, and they haven't said anything. They won't go on the record and say this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. I don't know what it's gonna take for people to understand the importance of transparency, the power that goes with being transparent. If you represent people, then you need
Yep.
to talk to the people, communicate
Exactly.
to the people what you're doing on their behalf. Unless you're not doing it on their behalf, but you represent them. So I assume anything to do with goats and small ruminants, you represent these people, so you should be able to speak and communicate with them if you have any business dealings or any negotiation going on in that space. If somebody disagree with me, clearly put it in the comment and say, yo, Ray, you're wrong. What a man does in his with him who own money is fee in business. I agree with that. However, you can't represent a group of people and they trust you with leadership, and the way you use that leadership is to,
Self gain.
yeah, if you're bringing in these animals and you're part of it, then it should be on behalf of the association. It should be select some farmers, some members of the association that has their money and say, look, we're doing this, and they understand the risks and we're going forward with it. And if it works, we have the blueprint. I know this is a very unpopular position, unpopular comment, unpopular. Everything about what I'm saying and doing right now is unpopular. I won't be surprised if I don't get a bunch of calls later. But I can't stand here and act like it's cool.
Ray, it's not unpopular. It's the process is unpopular. People like myself, who's part of the association, feel like we weren't communicating. Not to say I will be part of that deal to bring animal in, but it's all seems that it's only a certain people is relevant to them
Yeah,
versus the people that you represent. And the key word is we are bringing in animal for the association so we can benefit the other farmers. But that's not the case. Nothing like that was said, right?
yeah. I think the approach to this whole thing is self-explanatory. They're all about their gains, what they can get out of it. And I understand the private people are involved because if I got a call and the opportunity arises for me to do it, I'm doing it for my business.
That's right. I'll get some Kiko.
Yeah, but the difference is I would have tell somebody I'm doing this. You guys would have heard about it on iGoat chat. You know what I mean? I'll be trying to document the whole thing. But I'm different. You know what I mean? Some people want to keep their thing private. I understand that. But you can't be private and benefiting from representation in secret. Like that doesn't go hand in hand. You know, you can't. Somebody can't elect you to represent them, and you start secretly benefiting from it, and don't tell nobody. You're reaping the benefits that's there, and you're not sharing it with the people who put you there. You're not even telling them that this opportunity is there, and you're gonna try and see how it works so they can benefit from it.
Actually, Ray, to be fair to the association, they did put a video say, we'll be bringing an animal and we'll let you know down the road. But they did not tell us that the animal's coming in. I think them and the
Yeah,
secretary did that a
yeah. I
while back.
remember. I remember Mr. Bernard video that he says the opportunity is gonna be
That's
there
right.
to do this.
That's correct. Just to be fair, right?
Yeah, he said the opportunity is gonna come for people to bring in animals by them on their own. But he never said, he hasn't come back and updated and said, yo, we're in the process
Exactly.
of doing it.
Exactly.
He represent the association. He never come back and say, look, we're in the process of doing this and we're gonna let you guys know how it goes. As far as I know, that's the only permits that's been issued.
Okay.
That's the only permit. And Terrence, correct me if I'm wrong because you always know what's up. But I'm saying the only permit that's been issued since this whole revision process started is the permit for case. And Terrence, this comment, case has no responsibility to comment public on the animal. Case has responsibility to the college community. The college community is public, bro. Kind of what kind of argument is that? The students that goes to case are students from the public. The school is funded by government money, taxpayers'
Your
money.
money.
What are you talking about? That they don't have no responsibility. They have responsibility when they want to take your money, right? When they
Mhm.
want funding, they let us know how much they want. But how to use the money, they don't want to tell us how to use it. I don't understand this comment, Terrence. Like it doesn't work like that. In fact, case should let people know that they're doing this. Okay, to us, that's a big deal. Like there's the case is not in a private thing, bro. Case is a public entity, government entity. So everybody who wants to know what case is doing with the government money should be able to just ask and get the information.
Correct.
But as usual, everything in Jamaica is private. Everything in Jamaica is secret. You can't ask nobody anything about what they're doing in the public space on your money. They're not gonna tell you, oh, you can't ask what happened in the executive meeting. Oh, you can't know what happened with the conversation between me and the minister. No, you can't know that. Why would I come back and tell you what we talked about in the executive meeting or the board meeting? I'm not coming and tell you that. So what's the purpose of representing me? What are you there for if you're not going to come back and tell us what's going on? That's been the argument when we were challenging the association presidency. That was the argument when I said you guys don't communicate anything that you're doing when it comes to dealing with the government. When you guys make decisions in your board meetings, nobody come back and say this is what happened. And the response was, why would we come and tell you what happens in the board meeting? What happens in the board meeting is private.
It's not.
I'm like, I'm not asking you for word for word. I'm just saying there's minutes,
It's a readout.
there's a readout. You know what I mean? You're not gonna put in there that the man tell a man where to go or something like that. But the agenda, if the agenda was addressed and there's resolutions or there's feedback from a meeting or something, we need to know. It should be in the minutes or readout or whatever you want to call it. Every board that I've been on, I haven't been on no big executive board, but I've been on one and two things. And sometimes you have to be careful what you say in there because the next day there
This
is
is
an email going
going
out
out.
with what happens in the meeting. It's called accountability. You know what I mean? Of course, people get upset in meetings, and whoever knows that, oh, I got to take out these harsh words or something on in the report. But the agenda is addressed and what happens, the decisions that are made, or somebody had a meeting, come back and give a report on the meeting, all that is put in and emailed out to everybody the next day. So this whole private, everything is private. You can't know what's going on. You know, case is a public entity. They should actually be telling people they're doing this.
Agree.
Terry said, "Does case is responsible to its stakeholder, not every person on the island? Who is the stakeholder? TJ isn't the country.
Hmm.
Isn't the citizens of the country that are paying taxes are the stakeholders? Aren't they the ones who are paying for this? Isn't the school there to serve Jamaica on a whole? What stakeholders are we talking about here? Are we talking about politicians and MPs and councillors and board members? Is that what we're talking about? Are they the only stakeholders? You don't think that the general public needs to know how the money is spent? I'm just asking. Maybe I don't know how this thing works. I don't know how the system works. I understand that you don't discuss all your business in public, but this is using government money to buy animals. And it's a positive, it's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. You're going to be participating in the livestock improvement program as the largest agricultural institution in the country. How is that not a positive thing for you to get GIS there? Jamaica, what do you call it? The TVJ there.
Hmm.
Like when them animals land, every news. If I was to present a case, every news agent gonna be there. Everybody needs to be there to know that look, this is what we are doing. We are participating in the livestock improvement program, and we're gonna make a difference. That's would be my approach. I'm just saying, like the secret things is enough already. You know what I mean? And the whole concept, this is TG, I'm telling you, this is what's wrong with Jamaica society. The rhetoric of protecting these institutions, these people who run these institutions. If these people are of the philosophy that they serve the public and serve the people who pay for them to be there, we would have a different conversation about this. Things would be much different. But because they feel like they don't have to answer to nobody in the public, the only person they have to answer to is the person that appoint them to the position, which always happens to be a politician. Nobody is serving the public. They're serving the person that appoint them or the person that's cutting the check for them to be reinstated or vote back in. Like, come on, man, enough already. I don't want to have this conversation about this because it's nonsensical to be thinking that case is not a public entity. Like case is like it's nonsensical for to have this
Love
conversation.
that word.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
If they had communicated properly along the way, as Terence said, it just happened, then just like how the president can put out a video of what he's been doing with rabbits visiting
Mhm.
farm, that's his way of communicating. He could have said something. And we wouldn't be having this conversation. He just said, we said, okay, we know what the procedure, we know okay, what happened to the animal traveling to Jamaica now? How can we improve the making sure they stay alive when they get here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we should be learning, not arguing. And we're not arguing, but we're just shocked that animals are coming in next week and nobody knows about it.
Yeah. It's like I don't understand what, as I said, like the top secret thing really gets me all the
That has
time.
to go.
The top secret thing gets me. And we have two public entities involved.
Exactly.
So what's with the top secret? You don't have to call none of the other partners' names. None of the other people who come in to help make it happen. And trust me, I'm using the word help make it happen because I understand the logistics of getting animals here.
Hmm.
If you're gonna have use a crate and you can only afford to have filled the crate, then there's nothing wrong with calling two people and say, hey, you want to come in on this because we have the space and we'll just make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
That is straight business.
Business.
It makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Make complete sense. My problem is if you represent people and in that space, then you can't secretly go about it. You have to make it public. My opinion. Full disclosure. Yeah, I'm doing this. The opportunity to arise that I can help to and facilitate this. I'm going in on it and I'm going to keep you all informed.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It is that simple. It's not rocket science. It's no way the vast majority of members or people in this space is gonna say, "Oh, that's messed up. You shouldn't be doing that." There's gonna be people who disagree, but there's gonna be level-headed people that say, "Yo, that makes sense. Let us know how it goes,
Mm-hmm.
because it could help me, Mr.
Yeah.
Marco,
Kiko.
help." Yeah, you know what I mean? They're gonna be laying out the blueprint
Yeah.
that we can follow, and Dr. Watson can't say no
Mm-hmm.
because yo, you did it over here.
And it
Why
was
can't you do it
successful.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I fully support the move. I just don't support how certain people deal with it. So I I, I I'm gonna leave it at that and move on to more positive things like Peter. So you come down.
Mm-hmm.
I know under certain circumstances you come down, but now that you're here and you're visiting your farm, I always wanted to talk to you about the challenge of being somebody from outside the country, living outside the country in the diaspora. Certain producers don't like that word.
I don't have a problem with
Trudy
it.
doesn't like the word diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you've been back and forth trying to manage the farm.
Mm-hmm.
This trip, tell us what are some of the challenges you're facing being away for maybe you have 3, 4 months was the last time you were here.
Yes. That's correct.
And you've been doing a lot of changes.
A lot of changes.
So let's hear some of the challenges you've been facing, and even when since you come, what are the things you gotta be taking care of, handling.
I have a brand new crew on the farm, so we have to train them, get them up to par. In this business, the pig business is straightforward.
Hmm.
It is straightforward. You buy the feed and you have to worry about it. The challenge is when I see my animal not up to par, what is the issue? And yes, boss, may I get them a woolly paw grass, I might get grass, I might get donkey PP, they might get quick stick, guinea grass, but we don't see the result.
Hmm.
So you come back down and they're just giving the animals just what they need. So let's, before I get into even that, what we're doing there, um, somebody like me running a business in Jamaica is not for me to come and take a position.
Yeah.
I'm monitoring the different aspect of it. My aspiration is to have 3, 4, 500, 600, 700 goat. But there's detail for you to get to those numbers. And the platforms that we have out there beside this one is not giving you, they're just telling you, showing you pretty animal on what to do. So my idea when I got into this goat business is I live in St. Mary, Woolipa grass there. But we rarely talk about quality of grass. We rarely talk about how to read that grass. So my idea, Ray,
Hmm.
was to subtract and give somebody else a work and provide. Nobody really come out and say, nobody want to work. You figure they want to work, but they weren't given the opportunity. So I come to the conclusion they don't want to
Hmm.
work. So the biggest challenge is training the people. Let them understand what my focus is. Let them understand that animals do need grass. to the
Mm-hmm.
point that, Ray, this is how far I've gone. I explained to them 3 to 4, 5% of their body weight. That's how much grass they need. 5 to 6 pounds, whether it's dry or green. We're actually weighing it out, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And when the guys see, boss man, a 350 pound of grass that a daytime, and I graze, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So those are the challenges. The challenge is also sanitation.
Mm-hmm.
When you bring a new animal on, things that we're over there we're not seeing. We quarantine, we spray, but there's a trench behind where the water runoff goes down into an area where we have a rum area. So we're transferring bacteria
Mm-hmm.
into the pens.
So Howard wants to know if it's the same person that take care of the pig, take care of the goats.
Um, no. Um, they assist, but they don't go into the goat house. And if they do, we have a biosecurity at the door, which is a big blue pail, and they wash off their water boot. And then we have another station that they wash their hands. And in the pig pen, we have gloves.
Okay.
So those are some of the challenges. It's just to train the staff to get them up to your par and then producing grass so you don't have to rely on external entities.
Mm-hmm. So I know you turn over your staff lately.
100% of them.
Yeah, because you had a little issue. You
No, not a little issue, a big
a
issue.
big issue with Priya Larson.
Yes, the teeth, the goat.
Yeah. So know that you're hiring new people or you're restaffing. What is the approach when you? What is the criteria? How do you talk to these people how do you know that they're right for your operation? How do you make that decision? What are the things you look for?
Um, Before I would have put a general ad in the paper and I interview. So now I'm going with friends, Mr. Benjamin. Um, I talked to you, but you haven't produced me anybody yet.
Hmm.
And there's a gentleman in Clarendon named Mr. Brian. He works for the coffee board and he circles Jamaica and he sees a lot of people. So I selected a few people to help me. And so the people that I have coming from on the farm now is through Benjamin and Mr. Brian. So they have a solid background on who these people are. That's one. Number two, now I require a police report. I pay for it, right?
Hmm.
And I do my own I have, but I've done inventory with. I'm sorry, I've done interview with them, and I just don't hire them on the spot like that anymore. I wait for a while and I think about it, and if they fit in my criteria, then I do.
Okay. Is there any specific questions or I guess questions? Do you have like an outline of question you ask?
I do. What I've done, I've give the and nobody don't take me the wrong way. I've give case arrest because it wasn't working out with the candidates I get from them. There's a school in Clarendon that I've been working very close with, and I'm getting some good people. So most of the people that I have is from out of there, and they're doing an awesome job.
Are we talking about Ebony?
Yes,
Okay. Um, I think there's a real issue with the kids that are coming out of these schools and what their expectations are when they come to a farm like ours or yours. Um, they come with an expectation that they're not going to get their hands dirty.
exactly.
I feel like they come in thinking they're going to be managers or paper pushers. Like they're not really trying to get their hands dirty. And my opinion is you can keep your hands clean if you can guarantee me that you're gonna increase my bottom line 100% or something. Then of course, keep your hands clean as much as you want, as long as I'm seeing that return.
Mhm.
If you can convince me that you can sit around a laptop and or walk around a what do you call it,
Mhm.
a notepad, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and you can do that and increase my bottom line, then you need to get your hands dirty.
Mhm.
You can't just come and bark orders, or what I mean, write stuff down, and you're not willing to
To
get your
what?
hands dirty.
I have people come in and they tell me that they had 7 people working to them in a piggery. I have 25 cells. I used to have 50. I got down to 25. And 2 o'clock, they're feeding the animals. When I say, what's happening? They need more body. How can you have 4 guys in a piggery and they're not feed at 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
And just to address Terrence there, Terrence, we don't get into detail. I just want to know if they were involved in stealing. There's a special report that they give to us, the employer, and it they can't get into personal things, but it just make me make a decision if I am going to hire that person.
No, everybody should be protect their rights. Their personal information should be protected. You know what I mean? But if you commit a crime, then it's not. If you are arrested, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
It's unless Terrence is talking about something completely different,
Mm,
because he's got to know that.
all
I
right.
think he may be still on case problem.
Mhm,
Um. So okay, Darren says my audio is fluctuating.
mhm.
Sorry, I don't know. Maybe that's internet issues, because flow just makes it flow.
That's a good
Um,
one.
so okay, so know that you're on the ground.
Hmm.
Are you seeing progress from the people that you recently hired?
Yes, a lot of progress. I can give them a schedule from Canada. Say this time you start at 6:30. By 7:30, this is what happening. 8:30, etc. So just showing them being on the ground,
Hmm.
showing them how to organize your time. Time management is the key. By 10:30 this morning, all animals was fed. Goat was ready to go to the pasture, and guys were doing field work. We're
Hmm.
planting, we're preparing land for Mombasa and a new seed called Sun Hemp.
Hmm.
Just a little bit more biomass in these grass. So we have to try to be self reliant versus going outside and I have a subcontract. So we're
Okay,
seeing a big improvement in the staff.
so you mentioned Sun Hemp.
Yes.
What is that?
Okay, I post the detail it is. It's equivalent to alfalfa, and what it is 20 to 25% crude protein. We get 2 to 3 um, tons to an acre,
Hmm.
providing we take care of it, we water it, we do all these things. And what I like about it, it reduces the amount of fertilizer that we need because most things we plant,
Hmm.
we take nitrogen out of the soil. Sun M put nitrogen back into the soil. So therefore, I don't have to use much fertilizer on this.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, but it needs irrigation.
No, it's drought resistant in a sense that it will grow in any climate. It's just that in the summer months, any grass or plant will
Hmm.
not do well because you have less water. So therefore, instead of being ready to harvest in 60 days to 90 days, it probably take a little bit longer, just like any other
Okay,
grass.
so Howard is excited
Oh boy.
that Sun Hemp is going to be in Jamaica. But what's the disclaimer? You can tell them. I don't. You want me to tell them?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's here. However, we don't know. I don't know if anybody has planted in Jamaica and
I will
having
be the first
success.
one.
You'll be the first.
Yes.
So you'll be the guinea pig.
I don't consider myself a guinea pig. I have to think out of the box, Ray.
No, I
It
agree
is
with you.
it's all about biomass. It's
Hmm.
all about how much material can I get from an acre of grass. Going back to the experiment we're doing on the grass or
Hmm.
on the farm, when I tell my people them that, hey, you'll wheel the grass for 1 week till you know what 350 pound of grass is. Then look for me like me crazy,
Hey, trust me,
right?
I
But the
know.
goats require that amount of grass to one, maintain their body weight, two, to get the growth I'm looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The,
So,
the thing that a lot of I find that a lot of caretakers and farmers don't really pay attention to is that everything to do with livestock or especially small ruminants, it's always based on body weight.
yeah, it
If you're
is.
administering medication, it's based on body weight. Feeding them is based on body weight.
Okay.
Most things are based on body weight.
And it's 100% right. So, let me give you an example that.
Hmm.
So, we have about 12 doling that is going to somebody farm in the next 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Hmm.
They were overfeeding them. So the grass that those doling was getting could
Hmm.
have gone to the general herd, right? Or gone to animals that I had selected to be bred or to do AI down the road, or to the mother goat or the ram. So once they understand that each animal need a certain amount, then they will, how should I put it, allocate their time properly to those animals, because they don't need to spend an hour, or you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
Ray? They, go ahead.
Understanding how to feed the animals, really understanding it, is half the battle
Yes.
of taking care of them. And I say it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
When we were starting this whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
the first person I called was a
Mm-hmm.
nutritionist
Mm-hmm.
who happens to be Khalil Brown,
Mm-hmm.
because I've realized from watching all the videos, doing all the research, reading all these papers and vlogs and all these blogs and all these things, nutrition and understanding how to feed them
Mm-hmm.
and why you're feeding them, what you feed them,
Mm-hmm.
it was paramount.
It is.
So I went and spoke to a nutritionist and say, "Yo, if I'm gonna be successful at this, I need to know what in Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
I can feed to have great success."
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have all the information on all these different plants in Jamaica. But feeding the animal is important,
Mm-hmm. It is.
and everything to do with goats. I we're talking about goats and
Yeah.
small ruminants. Everything to do with them is based on body weight.
Based on body weight.
Yeah, they'll tell you the animal eat X percentage
Mm-hmm.
of their body weight for the day.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna give them medication, it's X ml per 100 kilogram, or you know what I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
everything is based on their body weight.
That's correct.
So if you understand that if a goat weigh 100 pound,
Mm-hmm.
it need to eat 15 pounds of grass. And another thing you need to understand is what you feed the animals, dry matter you feed the animals is as fed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say, yo, animals need to eat 5 pounds of grass or whatever. No, it's what condition that grass is
It's
in
exactly.
at the time it's being fed.
That's right.
You can eat animal will get more out of 5 pound of hay than they will get out of 10 pound of fresh grass.
Exactly. And that's one of the issue on my farm. I actually spend 5 days every day going down to the where we harvest our grass for shafting. And I had to explain to them, Okay, you see the one that just green like that, just coming up? Don't touch them. We're looking for the one with the blossom up top, and I could be wrong, but based on the research that I have, that's where the maximum protein, crude
Yeah.
protein is.
Hmm.
So now we have to go further to cut grass because they were cutting just any green grass, right? And there was creating a
Yeah.
problem.
Not all grass is equal.
That's correct. That's
And
correct.
if you're gonna build, no, you're gonna build your own fodder bank,
And
understanding what you're planting and the
mhm.
maturity rate of this
And
grass.
take the control from
Yeah.
outside, put it in right in my
Yes.
backyard.
Yeah.
And not only that, you can't expand. And I'm talking, I graze. I graze 6 days a week, 5 days a week. But you still have to have grass when they come in. You still have to have quality grass for the newborn, for the one in the nurseries and stuff like that. So I'm taking the control out of a guy who just won $3,000 for the day and put it in mine. So I know when those grass was harvested, I can show my people what a mature grass is. And if I have too much, I turn it into silage.
Yeah. And there's Dr. Young saying, reminder that lush green grass after rain is full of water and dry matter goes down significantly.
That's correct. That's
You
correct.
know, so when you have nice fresh green grass, especially in rainy season like now, goats
Hmm.
got to eat twice as much
That's correct.
to get what they really want out of it.
Hmm. So that's where we are. And I'm visiting some people who are planting grass already on my trip just to learn a bit more. I have a family member, he work at Ministry of Agriculture down the bottom here, down in iGate here. I had a long 2 hour meeting with him, what to do, what not to do with these specific, uh, what I'm planting. And so I have some professional
Hmm.
giving me, Xavier, some
Technical
input.
advice.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So well, we all need that. We all need to know, especially you planting something that's never been really done
Mm-hmm,
in Jamaica.
mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know how it's gonna work. I'm very interested to know the
Okay.
success you're gonna have
Mm-hmm,
because I would if we know we can grow,
mm-hmm.
then for sure we can expand on it.
Exactly. And I just learned this week, and I love to have some more conversation going tomorrow or
Hmm.
Monday, that there's a form of alfalfa in Jamaica. If I knew that, I wouldn't be buying this one.
Okay, so what you just say? You saying that there's some form of alfalfa in Jamaica
Yes, there is.
growing right now?
I'm not sure if it's planted, but it's going to be planted. And if I once I get the information, I already told that I could share it when I get it, but I haven't got the detail on it yet, and I'll give it to you. You can post it. We got to look at quality grass for an animal.
I just had that conversation a month ago about I would turn number one pasture right here. I would do straight alfalfa in there.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, I don't know the full detail because we didn't get into it long because I was on the road and she was driving and stuff like that. So I just I'm very cautious. I'll give you all the information once I got it. But
Okay, Kenneth, you say you have alfalfa seed. Give me a thumbs up if that's what you're saying. Because that's a direct link to somebody I know who has alfalfa seed, and I will be rolling up on you soon, Kenneth.
well,
No, I Kenneth says he has some alfalfa seed, so I'm gonna. Well,
I'll,
yeah, I think as a collective we can figure out
yeah,
if these high end, specialized, high protein, more nutritious grass can grow in Jamaica and how we can get it going
yeah,
because it's so important for feed security and to improve on daily gains,
yeah. That's what it's all about.
milk
Yep.
yields. Like that's what it's about. I don't even care if a goat is I don't want my goat fat. I want my goat
Good.
healthy,
That's
and I
right.
want the goat to give us a lot of milk.
Okay. And that's why I went with the sun hemp because it was equivalent to alfalfa. I checked down in Spanish Town, they didn't have it. I checked the contact that I had in Florida regarding the grass that we're bringing in, and they said no, it's not available. But again, I guess they're wrong. So I'll find
So
out.
the thing is, Darren is saying the alfalfa that can be planted here is a tropical variety. The seed from the North American won't grow. If alfalfa will grow in southern Georgia,
It will grow
it will
here.
grow in Jamaica because southern Georgia is hot.
With,
You may just have to plant it over the winter period or something.
yeah.
But if it grows in the summer in southern Georgia,
Hmm.
then it should be able to grow in Jamaica
Hmm.
because I think southern Georgia and Jamaica have the same temperature summertime.
Yes, yes. Yeah. The biggest issue on the farm is biosecurity, and Benjamin, or sorry, what's his name again? From anyway,
Hmm.
the biggest issue is making people realize that I have two different section, and using the foot bath is the
Hmm.
hardest thing to come across. Washing hands is the, you know, all that stuff. I had Dr. Morgan down about 3 times in the last 4 months just because I was not there and I had a outbreak. I lost quite a few animals, but it was also a learning experience.
Yeah.
And it's all boiled down to sanitation. And I thought my farm was clean. But when she informed me what was going on, and I came and I looked and I explained to you about where we quarantine animal when they
Hmm.
come into the farm, it we nobody saw that the water was going down into the ram area. Um, Yet people refuse to change their overall before
Hmm.
they go into the goat house. So Howard, that's why those people are not longer there. It's not that I want to turn over stuff, but if what's the point paying somebody to do a job and they refuse to follow your that they want you to adapt to them? Doesn't work that way.
Yes, Howard. Um, I will forever implore people to feed um, what's around you. And you know what? Let's dig into this, Howard. I think if we have a more in depth conversation or research on some of these shrubs and grass and stuff that's around us and have like proper case studies on them, controlled situations where we're judging does an animal produce more milk on guinea grass or bombasa, or if you include some glycidia in there, which is quick stick or trumpet thing or whatever, if we get better yields from milk, right? The reason I talk about the alfalfa is because the research's been done for these already, and I'm not guessing. I am not guessing if it will work.
Hmm.
I know it will work because the research has been done. A lot of the research hasn't been done on the stuff around me when it comes to milk yields. The research been done to tell me yes, goat love it and go to work will live and thrive on it, but it doesn't tell me if it's great for milk production, if it's great for weaning animals and getting the best daily gains out of weaners. That work hasn't been done. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. I can't get up and feed my the goats in a milking program just anything
That's right.
because one, the tanning in some of these things may end up in the milk,
Hmm.
so the milk may start tasting bad, or it may lessen the butter fat. I don't know. You know what I mean? Dr. Young is here. She knows more about the milking stuff than I am. I do because she's been in it for a long time. However, What I do know is what they eat will affect battery. This thing, yeah. What size batteries? Two AA batteries. Sorry, guys.
2 minutes.
Give me 2 minutes. Hmm? Double A. Hmm? No, don't we have any over there? I gotta figure out how to hardwire this thing.
Yeah.
No, 1 second, guys. Hmm? Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. Is that better, guys? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. My mic's so nice. That's a truly thing. Okay, where were we? Yes. So I was saying that there's no really in-depth research done on the plants around us. So I have to go with the stuff that
You do know.
I do know some research was done on it. I would love to know how the plants around us and the grass around us affect milk. Dr. Young said something about it will taste like tea. Where is that comment? Um, and that's my fear. Yeah, that is my fear that I'll be feeding stuff not knowing the effect on the milk. So I would rather a research done.
Hmm.
If we're gonna feed, if quick stick works, then I know that I can safely feed a lot of quick stick to get the yield I want. But if it's gonna turn the milk into something that's no good, then I can't do that. So who is this? Sir Jug says you could have the best feed in the world if the genetic isn't in the animal, they won't push that ton
Yeah.
of milk. That is true, but we're having a conversation assuming that we have milk genetics because that's where my head's at. That's what I'm thinking. Even with the graded animals I have, I don't intend to have just graded animals that's low producers forever. My objective is to get to high yielding hybrid animals or real dairy goats. But I still need to know what I feed and how it affects the milk. Just like how I want to know what I feed, what are the daily gains on weaners.
Exactly. And from my point of view, I'm looking for feed that will bring that animal from 0 pound to 75 because that's what my customer is asking me for
Yeah.
in ram. They don't want a 1 year old ram or a 2 year old ram. It's 75 pounds they're looking for. They're looking for tender meat. And so I have to cater to that market. How can I get that animal up to that weight quickly and through the door?
Okay, so you're focusing on meat, right?
That is
The
correct.
feedback you're getting from your customers, what is the what do you find to be the the sweet spot when it comes to age or weight?
Okay, two type of customer I have. The one with the dance, they don't care. They boil the heck out of it.
Hmm.
The ones with the restaurant or the finer clientele, they want to put it on, and within an hour and a half, curry goat ready, right?
Hmm.
And they don't want to pressurize it or anything. So I did give them both because at first I had random, when I buy out a farm, you have a 1.5 year animal, and the guys called me back and said, Mr. McCook, we don't want them big animal there. We want the small one, right? They're more flavorful, they're easier to cook, and that's what we're looking for. So I gear most of what I'm doing now to that. If somebody come to me and said they want an animal, and I said, "What's the event?" So I know what to send to them. And Ray, I don't have enough animal, but I'm just saying in the last 5 months,
Hmm.
that's what I've been through with the customers that I have.
So so you're saying the customers that really care about what they're eating, they're more about the young tender meat.
That is correct.
The mans who just throwing a dance don't really care.
It doesn't care. Or the setup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't care.
They don't care.
And we found that that's the same experience we have with our few meat clients that we service.
Hmm.
They're all about the tenderness, the taste, the quality. They don't care if it smells like a ram goat. They really don't want it to smell
No.
like a ram goat.
Yeah.
Um, but the age, it's that 1 year and younger, right?
And younger.
Yeah.
I have not sold a 1 year animal 6 months, 7 months. 6 months, 7 months. That's
Hmm.
what they are.
Okay.
50 to 70 pounds. That's what they're looking for. They specifically asked me for those weights.
Wow. Oh, Howard, let me answer this question. The milk you're producing now, how is it? Um, our processor loves it. It's been amazing. People will come and taste the milk here on the farm. Full disclaimer, they're doing it at their own risk. Um, they love it. I've tasted and I love it. It's sweeter than cow's milk.
It is.
So I love it. And we've been doing very good with our our processor that we sell it to. Everybody know we sell it to Ruby Goat Dairy, and we're proud to say we are their number one supplier. Yep.
Nice. Congratulations.
And trust me, we put in the work. It's not easy to be consistent producing milk and collecting the milk and safely delivering the milk and have no problems at the other end when the milk is tested and they say, "Oh, you're good to go." We don't have any problem. We haven't had any rejects.
Okay,
We
good.
haven't had any issues, so we're very proud of that. Very proud of the guys. Our dairy manager, Joycey, we're very proud of her. She's on it, and the dairy project is actually through this baby. So I have to give her props. She keep her people them tight on that. Okay. Um, I, let's see some comments here. See if we can respond to some
Okay.
comments. No growth can take place without proper research and use of that information. Correct. Correct, Thatchfield. That is correct. Data is important.
Yes, sir.
Knowledge is power. I implore everybody to do data collection, record keeping on their farm,
Mhm.
and not just collect the records, spend the time to look it over
Over.
and
That's,
understand what it says.
don't be afraid to change course.
And if it tells you that you're going down the wrong road, change, implement the change immediately, because you can't, numbers don't lie, and that kind of information does not lie.
Hmm.
You may not see the impact immediately, but it will catch up to you. So Darren is saying 8 months old, 80 pounds, 80 to 100 pounds. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. And I'll tell you straight up, some of the kids that I sell to new farmers that wants a graded animal to start them own little thing, I honestly feel in my heart some of these animals need to go in the curry pot. But the whole concept of helping out a guy, a farmer, to start his own thing because he can't afford a full blood. And you look at these animals, they're the perfect meat animals. Some of these bucklings that I see in the Wieners Lounge, I'm like, these are straight up the perfect meat to bone ratio, the
Yeah.
thickness, the everything about it is just good for meat.
And that's where I want to get to, right? The animals that I'm producing, it's I'm not there yet, so I have to put on the feed. That's why I'm investing in this type of feed for them. The feed that sun hemp that I'm planting is mainly for my bucks, right? Because it has proven in other country that it excel. And then with proper genetic,
Hmm.
like I'm looking to invest in the Kiko
Hmm.
animal has a more meat to bone ratio. And when you put that animal to a boar, then bingo, you have the
Yeah,
winning.
you get a hardier hybrid
Yes,
and you
that's the
get more
key.
meat to bone ratio.
Right. You know,
The Kiko is being discounted a lot. That it's just a glorified native goat, but the meat to bone ratio
right.
is great. You know what I
So,
mean? I had the gentleman beside the Kiko, you could do the Tex-Mex mix, which is the Myotonic and the Spanish goat.
mhm,
I had the gentleman from Vanguard Farm on that created his own um, line of meat goat, and that was from the Myotonic and the Spanish,
right.
and it
I
could give
remember
you,
that.
yeah, give you more meat to bone
Hmm.
ratio. So Boer is not the be all end all. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You can actually look at other breeds that may be cheaper but give you similar returns.
Yeah. And it,
So who is Lushane? Lushane has this to say about you, Mr. Maku.
I paid him to say that, by the way. I
So,
sent him a transfer.
so who is he? He says, Ray, that gentleman sitting beside you is a very good person. We can tell anybody that, and you can tell anybody that, and I'll never see him in person yet. Had one conversation with the phone, and I can tell you the man is a general. Big up yourself, Mr. Mako.
Bless him.
All right. I want to see how much it costs you for these people to be coming out here
Shh.
talking
I
like
know.
that.
Mm. Going back to the
Hmm.
Kiko,
Yeah.
the other part is not just the meat to bone ratio. They adjust to the climate we have, and the biggest thing is a worm,
Hmm.
right? That's one of the study. But that's just let you know.
Yeah, the word based on research and testing
Yes,
is that Kiko is more resistant to worm or more tolerable
yeah,
to worm
that's a
load.
better word.
Yeah, they're more tolerable to worm loads.
Hmm.
So they can thrive more with a heavier worm load than the boar or the Nubian or whatever.
Hmm.
So, um, full disclosure, when we started, we actually did AI on straight Kiko.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know how many animals we did. None of it took. And then I said, yo, I'm not going to do it again until um, semen from that stock was successful in Jamaica,
Mm.
because I nobody can show me that a Kiko from that block of semen has been successful in Jamaica, and so I don't really want to do it unless I know. If
Um,
there's fresh stock of semen, then maybe I'll do it again.
I spoke to Nutrimix, and they says there's a few animals that was done in Kiko. So I'm looking, and they're gonna send me some pictures. So I share it with you once I get them.
Yeah, Dr. Craig told me that too.
Oh, okay.
I'm yet to see it.
Nutrimix need to step up on this one.
No, I'm being straight up. Dr. Young is here, and Dr. Young know that I don't mince my words. Um, if a successful Kiko AI was in Jamaica,
Hmm.
it would have been posted. It would, from we've been talking about Kiko for the past so long, we couple years or something, that it would have been posted.
I guess I gotta make a call on Monday because that's my plan. Kiko.
Yeah, it would have been, somebody would have said, "Yo, here's a Kiko AI." We've seen Sanan,
Hmm.
we've seen the Boers, the Nubians,
Hmm.
the different pedigree or lines of Boers, but nobody showed me a Kiko
I actually
AI.
spoke to a gentleman. I can't remember who it was, and he had one, and he said he sold it because I wanted to see a picture just
Mm.
to see. He had a buck, just to see the definition in it,
Hmm.
but it was transferred from his farm because it was shown on Facebook on one of the
Yeah,
platforms. I
I
just
want to
wanted to.
see it. I want to know so I can move forward and say, yes, I'll do some Kiko from that. But
This would not be a key.
I would not be, okay, what is Darren saying? I would not be a Kiko if not done on a Kiko. Oh, you would not do Kiko if not done on a Kiko. I don't know, man. I'm not a
Yeah,
what's the word? You guys know what I'm talking about. The genetic specialist, so I don't know. But I was told that crossing Kiko with Boer is an ideal meat animal
yeah,
because of the meat to bone ratio and the hardiness.
yeah. That's correct.
Yeah. Because remember, in the way they look at it in commercial good farming, the way they look at it, if you're in meat production, we're talking about numbers, we're talking about lots.
Mm.
So these animals have to go survive out there on big pastures, and they have to have the hardiness.
Right.
So that's where that comes in.
Hmm.
Nobody's babysitting no meat herd.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
your meat herd need to be tough.
Hmm.
Right, but you get pure big up, you got enough big up, you get Peter.
Well, I'm pretty sure a few people out there rubbed the wrong way, but thanks for the big up, guys. I appreciate it. I'm not perfect.
Nobody is perfect. So, you know what I mean? We have to live with our shortcomings,
Yep. Yeah.
and the people them you do good with,
Hmm.
they will appreciate the good you do,
Hmm.
and they will forgive your shortcomings,
Hmm.
or and know that, yo, it's life. That's all we'd have to deal with.
Listen, Ray. One other thing I'm telling you, and I may have this conversation a few times. I do not want to come down here and be that main guy on my farm.
Mhm.
So it's very important for me, whoever work on my farm, they can do their job, follow the protocol of what we set out, right? That's how we're going to be successful. I actually put the pause on breeding on my farm until I have the proper system in place. I cannot rely on somebody outside to supply my grass. So right now, all I'm doing is taking care of the animal. I need 3 acres of a combination of Mombasa plus hemp to run my farm,
Mhm.
right? In 3 months, I'll have that. 60 days, I'll have that. So then I can say, okay, I'm ready to go. Because if you can't feed your animal and the grass is not there, and this is taking account that we have the summer month. And let me remind our farmers, you cannot grow the studies that I have and the specialists that I spoke to. You have to invest in fertilizer, whether it's the feces from the goat
Mm-hmm.
or chemical fertilizer, to get the proper crude protein out of each batch of grass you have out there. Any other way you're thinking of doing it, it will not work.
Hmm. So,
Water fertilizer.
yeah. But what kind of fertilizer you plan to use?
Okay, so there you go. I have the I how I have my farm set up. You get the natural nitrogen from the pig farm.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the feces is being buried. So now instead of the liquid run off into a pit
Mm-hmm.
where the grass is going to grow, it's going to be trenched in those. So I don't need much fertilizer there. If you look at the bananas behind my pig facility, it's the greenest, the flushest at all time, and the coffees, the grass. And that's why I choose sun hemp, because it restore nitrogen
Mm-hmm.
into the soil
It's a nitrogen
versus take it
fixer.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's reducing my independence on chemical fertilizer. I will have to use it,
Mm-hmm.
but not as much.
That is the key in actually building the difference between like pastures. Nitrogen fixers is the key in successful pastures. Like when we were being told to take out what we have here and just plant some grass or whatever,
Hmm.
and I refused because of that. The the legumes and shrubs and stuff that was in the pasture,
Hmm.
they're nitrogen fixers,
Hmm.
which makes the pasture more um, fertile,
Yeah,
and I get better grass because of these nitrogen fixers. So if the hemp, sun hemp, is a nitrogen fixer,
it is.
maybe it's something that can actually spread into pastures too.
It and they recommend it with your type of control grazing that you
Mm-hmm.
have here. This will be perfect for you. So I'm open. Once you see it
Mm-hmm.
and it grows, then you can understand. And the cost is at least, let's put it, it's 815 US
Mm-hmm.
for 20 kg of Mombasa, and this one was 200 and something for 20 kg. So
Hmm.
it's a big difference.
And it's a nitrogen fixer.
And it is.
So it definitely would work in the middle of pastures, like mix it up.
Even if somebody say they're going to plant pepper, tomatoes, or whatever, prior to that, if you plant this in there, it actually increase the productivities in those type of crop.
Okay. So what if we start smoking it? What happened?
I'll let you try on that one, but this is the one you don't smoke. There's nothing there. It's just what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All
There's
right.
no smoking. So if a
So
guy can't come raid your place, so he has plant
yeah,
hemp and weed and go
it's not
smoke
a
it.
high grade.
No, 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 it's not.
Definitely not high grade. But
Yeah,
it may be
that's
high
good.
grade for the goats.
It in crude
Include
protein
protein. Yeah.
20 to 25%.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to that project. I'm hoping that, we can make it happen.
Yes. No, it's
Yeah.
not make it. Oh, you going? I'm making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We.
Yes. Yes.
Us.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
We're neighbors.
Yeah. Still,
We're
like,
only 25 minutes away from
yeah.
each other. The
If it
farm.
succeed up there, it'll
Yeah.
succeed here,
It
and
will.
we'll
We have the same
definitely.
terrain. We have the
Yeah.
same climate.
Hmm.
Everything.
Darren, yeah, we know soil testing is very important. We've done soil testing here. We've done
So
pasture assessment here. Um, you guys have no idea the different things we've done to collect data on this farm in order for us to understand what we're dealing with. I my pastures, and I've said this before, in its current state, it's 17, 18% crude protein. And it's only improving year after year because of the multi-species grazing on it. So when you look at my grazing animals, especially in the nice weather when it's not raining and they stand to one side and don't eat, when it's nice and they can graze for 5, 6 hours, they're in beautiful condition.
Yeah, it is. Uh,
Beautiful. And
yeah,
it's all grazing.
that's all. And I was going to chop down. I have 8 acres, close to 9 acres. So what I've done is just make a section for us to walk through and make paddocks. And we have to. Good thing we have the dogs now,
Hmm.
because all of a sudden we can't see the goats. So got to keep on circling it because the density of it is so
And the grass
thick.
is high, right?
And when the goat, a couple goats, we have to actually throw in the back of the pickup and carry back because they refuse to walk because they're that
Hmm.
big, right? So it's working well. So don't cut down thing. Let the goat choose what they want to eat, and then later on you chop the tops off for proper springing for the growth season.
Yeah, it's that's my advice to people right off the bat, especially if you have a new location and you have to graze the animals. Just don't go quickly cut things down and plant what they tell you to plant. Observe the land, let the animals go through it
Yeah.
because it may be the perfect salad bar for them.
And it is, and it is, and it
You
is.
never know. It may be exactly what they want,
Mm-hmm.
what they're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
instead of what the technical advisor say you should get Mombasa or Pongola or this or that. The combination of diversity in your pasture may be perfect. So
Mm-hmm.
analyze it, let the animals go through it first.
Yeah, but you're correct there. But the specialist is correct, Ray. You do need those grass when your animal come back in, if you're gonna have grass on them 24/7, and that will help maintain the body, right?
Yeah, if you're, I think you cut and carry from a fodder bank,
Mm-hmm.
but people actually plan for pastures.
Oh,
So what I'm saying is,
okay,
before
got
you
you.
plan for pastures, actually figure out if the current
Right,
state of
got
it
you, got you,
is
got you,
good for the animal.
got you. Thanks for the
You know what I mean? Because
clarification.
that's what they were trying to tell me to do. They were telling us to, yeah, just get a tractor and run through it and plant
Mm-hmm.
this or plant that. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
let me figure out what I have here first.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have out there is predominantly guinea grass, but there's so many other legumes and stuff in it
It's,
that when the test was done, the pasture assessment test was done, it was 17, 18% crude protein on an average out there.
and that's good because
That
they only
is,
need 12
yeah,
in your mature goat.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
my maintenance animals don't need no more than that,
Mm-hmm.
and you see what they look like.
They look awesome. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I would have. I forgot. This is the third or fourth time I've been down here because we're neighbors. So I have to
Hmm.
drive by here. One evening, I took my mom down, and she was just amazed. I think there was about 40 or 50 animal coming from grazing, and
Hmm.
there's only maybe three that he says is not in good condition. I I said they are, all right, but in his standard, they're not.
Yeah, if you compare them to the rest of them,
Yes, but
you'll see that they're below par.
yeah.
And I think it's not even a matter of their their fault. Like, I think they're getting old,
Mm-hmm,
so they're not as productive as they used to be. And
mm-hmm,
one of them is the one with the overbite,
yeah.
and I don't think that goat can consume enough to look good.
Mm-hmm.
So that goat's gotta get culled.
And by the way, that
$90,000 cull.
goat looked good in my eyes.
Yeah, but if you compare her to the other Nubians, she ain't good.
All right, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, like she's a weak link in the
Mm,
chain.
mm. Well, send him up to my farm.
No, I'm not saying that goat is going into the burger, the
All right.
burger pot, the burger thing because that goat has been here so long.
Okay.
Don't get
Got you.
pregnant, and the overbite I don't want in my
Okay.
thing.
Yes. Yes.
And I do nobody's getting that goat.
Got it. Well. Well
That
put.
is if that goat not good for me, not good for nobody.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I always say this and I stand by it. If it ain't good for me, it ain't good for nobody.
Well said.
That's why grind end up in the burger on the grill.
Okay.
Um let's see if we have any questions. Anybody have any questions for us? Yeah, or trust me, we all have that animal that just never worked. That animal that, and sometimes it's the animal that you really like, and you're putting in everything, and then animal look nice for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to pasture, come back slowly, end up back in sick bay.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm gonna post a picture tomorrow. I want a most beautiful goat, and I try to get that goat integrated into the general herd. And I think that goat died 2 months ago. Trudy, when did are you there? When did what's her name die? That pretty goat. Yeah. I have pictures of her on my phone. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'm gonna give thanks for the blessings. But that goat's so beautiful, but she could never ever survive going to pasture. She go to pasture for a month, 2 months, she gets sick, she come back into sick bay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Until eventually she just gave in and said, okay, I'm
That's
done.
enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like when she died, she was like look terrible or anything. She
Mm-hmm.
came in because she had a worm and she looked okay. She was rebounding as she always does on every 3 months. And then one day she just didn't make it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Not
So have you explored the sorghum sun?
Sudan grass.
Oh, Sudan grass
Uh,
with the sun hemp. Ah, that's for you, man.
no. Um. My objective was very clear. Right. I needed alfalfa. They told me it was not available in Jamaica, but this is the next equivalent grass to it. So I just work with what they told me would work. And when I did my investigation, the biomass, how quick, by the way, it's an annual, eh? I just want to make sure everybody's aware of
That is a
that.
problem.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. The study shows that you can get 5 cutting, and some year in Thailand, they're getting 7 cutting. That's a year and a half, right? Before you replant.
Hmm.
And so they're saying with our climate, it will grow provided you cut it about 9 inches from the ground. And that's what we normally reap with our grass anyway. So you don't want too much of the bone, but the mass is huge. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, like the replanting thing is that plant has to be really good.
Hmm.
And would it work as a hay?
No,
No.
no, it's a
Somebody would it work as silage?
yes, it can. Okay, you get about
Okay.
6, 7 feet of growth there, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe you could do good silage
Yeah.
to make it worth replanting every 2 years.
Well, we'll see. I the game changer for me is the growth of the bucklings to give me that weight in a short time.
Hmm.
And if I have something that will enhance that, I'm gonna try it. But I may switch to this alfalfa. I may switch to this alfalfa. Oh, um,
Huh? We just lost power only in Jamaica. Only in Jamaica this happens.
Hmm.
I don't even know if
We're back. Yeah.
hello, are you guys still there? Yeah, we just had a power surge and we're back up. So welcome to Jamaica. That's
Yeah.
how it works.
Hmm.
Um so I'm thinking if it's worth if the yield is good enough to do silage and stuff so you can
Yes.
store this thing,
Hmm.
then I think it's worth replanting every 2 years.
Um, I, that's the study, and
Hmm.
it's done. You got to do your own research
Yeah.
and benefit. Do you think you can do it? You got to remember, I have four bodies on my farm. One person or two-person cannot operate my farm and keep up the standard that I'm looking for in
Hmm.
sanitations and the stuff like that, right? When the Nutrimix team or Dr. Morgan come in, they give me a full report. And if a sanitation part is not in it, I call them up and say, "What are you doing? What's the point you come in if you're not going to put that in there?" So we have four bodies, so we got to keep them busy. So a guy with just 10 goat, I
Hmm.
can see a challenge. But for me, who want to do multiple goat
Yeah.
and get the end result from 0 to 60 to 80 pounds in the shortest period of time, I'm willing to try that investment. And for 100 to less than 200 US for that amount versus 815
Hmm.
for the Mombasa, right? It's a big difference.
Um, so you mentioned the other day that you had mulberry up there.
Yes, I did. Yes, I have. I have 150 plants
Hmm.
that I plant at the side. I just want to see how they go. And then when we went to replant the other day, reap grass the other day, we come across about a couple trees, and there was a lot of babies there. So we got another 60 from there. So
What is the regrowth rate on the mulberry?
I'm not in a position to give you that data yet. Based on Canada, that what I plant,
Hmm.
you cut that tree. By next week, you get at least 6 to 12 inches of growth. And that's all for decoration, Ray, because you
Hmm.
want to keep it like an umbrella. So all of a sudden, you have 6 to 12 inches hanging down.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming the growth now, it's not the same variety because the ones that I'm looking at will grow up like a tree, right? So I'm assuming the growth rate is the same that
Well,
within a month you can reap.
all right. So Darren is here. Darren, what is the growth rate? If you have a good mature mulberry tree in your cut and carry system, what is the frequency of harvesting from a particular tree? I need to know what the growth rate is for it to see if it makes sense. If it makes sense as a cut and carry, or does it make sense as a silver pastoral plant? I don't know. Because if the yield's not there for cut and carry, I'm not doing it.
Mm. Okay, so I look at mulberry just like I look at quick stick.
Hmm.
Okay, because all my posts around my pasture now and my fencing is quick stick, and that takes about a month before I can harvest those again.
Yeah, so Darren says 8 to 12 weeks.
That's
So that sounds
long.
about right.
Yeah.
Cool. Based on what you're
Well,
saying.
yeah.
So that means
Okay, so you got to look at it quick. Where I look at quick stick and mulberry.
mhm,
Okay, so I want to get those animal in shape now. What do I have with a high protein?
mhm.
So I'll just focus. Those are target feed versus general feed. Those are things that I'm not looking to be part of my general herd to go into the boxes.
Hmm.
Those are specific target animals that I want to feed. The rams, a animal that's need to build up the body quick. Those are plant that I'll go to raid. Just I think that's how I'm using it on my farm.
Okay, got
So
it.
I wouldn't plant 10 acres. I'll focus on. I was talking to Dr. Young the other day. She do king grass, and I love to see that somebody with king grass to see how it is, and maybe that's something I'll be planting down the road, right?
Okay.
Because the mass is pretty good. That the biomass you get the eel on it is pretty
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, that's the key for me is to figure out if the yield you're gonna get is worth the investment, like a
Exactly.
mulberry and stuff. Am I getting the biomass from it
No, you will
from
not.
when I reap,
You
when I
will not.
harvest?
So that's a
So it's a
target.
so that's definitely more like a silver pastoral thing, or the way you use quick stick or
That
other
is
thing. Yeah.
correct. That is correct.
All right.
Okay.
Any other questions? Because we're running on 2 hours.
Oh,
Man, like
hey, I
you
gotta
having
talk about the
fun.
dogs, man.
Which dogs? Your
I
dogs?
introduced some dogs to the farm, to the
Oh,
goat.
oh, yes. Please tell them that what I tell you about these dogs being integrated with goats at an early age, that it works.
Now, I was scared
Hmm.
when I saw the size of these dogs that I have, but a picture speaks for itself.
Hmm.
The first day we put them, okay, the first day we put them out there, they got some buck left, right. But we had two guys walking towards the goats, and they went up and challenged the guys, and the dogs were able to keep them in an area for grazing. Now, in the goat house, we put them in there, and they integrated very well. There's one we got to keep a close eye on, and he's the oldest one. He tends to, and German Shepherd snaps. So I'm watching him very closely because if the goat come up to him and he's playing, and even my big dogs at my house, they tend to snap at me, not want to bite me, but it's just their nature. So, Ray, that's a must. You must have dogs in your
Oh
facility.
man, trust me.
You
I've
must
been
have them.
talking about this. Sarge opened
Yep.
my eyes to saying the your dog
Hmm.
that's gonna deal with your animals, that's gonna protect your animals, need to come up with the animals.
Yes, they do.
From their puppies, they need to understand who's the boss.
Yes.
The goats are the boss,
Yes.
and you're part of the family, and your job is to protect them.
Yes, that is correct. So if I could push back time, they would have gone into my goat house from their first shot. I put them in based on the vet advice, the fourth shot, plus 3 weeks
Hmm.
later when I came down, right? So, but it's working out good. We hands on that. We got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, keep an eye on them. And the key is if they're amongst the big goats, if the big goats try to buck the dog and the dog goes down
Hmm.
in a subdued way,
You know
that
you're there.
tells you, you know, that the
You're
dog
there.
respect the goat as the
Hmm.
boss
Hmm.
and will just take himself away or herself away from the situation instead of attacking.
And the most important thing, what I from okay, so my farm is set up a slightly different from the average farm. So I have the general area,
Hmm.
I have the farm, the goat house. So I have dogs that patrol the perimeter
Hmm.
of the property at night. I call them their night shift, right? When those dogs come to the goat house, these dogs inside
And
the
the
goat
goat
house
house.
challenge them. So they back off.
Hmm.
They can't come when they walk in now, they go around because you have three dogs, puppies, challenging them. So, it's a win-win.
Yeah. What you need to do now is to get like the ones that are inside,
Hmm.
get animals like those on
And
the
the
outside.
outside.
So
And that's
everybody is
and
protected.
the same
Yeah,
perm.
everybody's on the same page, everybody's doing the same job. The ones on the outside now, they'll eat dogs, humans.
Oh yeah. I had couple.
goats. Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had to pay for a
yeah,
couple cows and couple goats, because
yeah,
my dogs get out of the yard and go into a common area and take down a couple bulls. So I paid for them. So,
yeah. So I know my dogs, our dogs here, I don't think they will attack the cows,
hmm
but they'll definitely try to keep the cows away from the
hmm
goat yard or the goats.
yes,
But when it comes to protecting the goats, that's all they do
yes.
is protect the goats.
It's a must. And the earlier you start, the better it
Hmm.
is. And you just have to work with whatever system you got on your farm.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
I think that's a wrap.
Ray, thank you for having me down here.
Hmm.
Thanks for the support you've given me and the partnership.
Hey, man, I'm here to support, and I give thanks for your support and your knowledge and advice and the ability to bounce ideas off of you and call you for nonsensical things. And we talk about all kinds of crap when we need to.
hmm
And we call it crap, but at least we're learning something every time we have some conversation.
We are.
As simple as it may be, we always try to learn something from it.
hmm
So, I mean, I'm happy to have you here and,
Thanks.
you know, to hang out with us and be a part of the show. You're welcome back on the show anytime.
All right. Thank you.
And, I really love the fact that we can work together and share ideas. And everybody out here in our iGoat family, this is the kind of rapport we want to have. We want to be able to share. I've had a great relationship with you, great relationship with Anthony, great relationship with Benjamin Howard, great, like the list goes on.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Big up
And
those guys.
yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what I want to keep going, and we'll continue to share information. Um, and remember, guys, empathy goes a long way.
Yeah.
Right now in the space, things are kind of edgy,
hmm
but remember, if you have empathy for people, it will go a long way. So big up everybody that's here. Big up the people them who go above and beyond to help us farmers. Dr. Young, Dr. McCool, Dr. Craig.
Yep.
What's the lady's name?
Dr. Morgan, you
Dr.
talk?
Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Khalil.
hmm
Whether you agree or
Actually, I met him
disagree
the
with,
first time here the
yeah,
other day.
yeah, whether
Yeah.
you agree with people's point of view or not, or people's opinions or their you know thesis on things,
hmm
respect and empathy is the name, is the word.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I give thanks for these people that even if I disagree with their opinion, I still value them.
Yeah.
So big up and respect everyone, and have a great rest of the weekend. And we'll see you all again next week.
Okay.
And thanks for joining us.
Have a
Respect.
blessed one, everyone. Thank you.
All right.